How would you like to be healthier and stronger by doing something that's also good for the environment? If you give me a few minutes of your time, I promise you'll be glad you did. My name's Dave Meyer. I'm a multiple-time world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm in my mid-50s, I train with top UFC fighters, and I regularly beat guys half my age. People ask me how I stay in such good shape, and the truth may sound a little funny. Of course, I exercise a lot, I eat all kinds of great foods, but I haven't eaten meat in over 30 years. In fact, I don't eat dairy, eggs, or any animal products. Does that seem weird? You can't win them all. But this is world-class mixed martial arts champion, Jake Shields.
And I haven't eaten meat a day in my life.
Whether you care about health, strength, weight loss, or just feeling good about yourself, hold on to your seat because I'm about to make you the smartest kid on the block. I used to think eating meat was normal because it's what animals do in nature, right? But then I realized while some animals, like lions or wolves, eat other animals, many don't, like horses, bulls, and even gorillas, and they're part of nature too. So which animals are we more like? Well, carnivores like tigers and lions have intestines 3 times the length of their bodies. That gets meat digested quickly and out of their system. Herbivores like horses and bulls have intestines 12 times the length of their bodies. That allows for better absorption of plant products. We humans, as it turns out, have intestines about 12 times the length of our bodies, just like herbivores. But there's more. Carnivores like lions have naturally sharp teeth for ripping and tearing. They can use those teeth to literally tear the muscles right off their prey. Plus, interestingly, their jaws hinge in such a way that they can only move up and down and not side to side. Herbivores, like horses or bulls, have naturally flat teeth for crushing and grinding plants. Their jaws can move up and down, but also move side to side as they chew. Humans also have flat teeth for crushing and grinding, and our jaws can move side to side, just like herbivores. We can't use our mouths to tear raw meat from the bones of an animal we've killed like a lion or wolf can. In fact, without tools like spears, knives, or even fire for cooking, we can't catch, kill, cut up, or even eat other animals. It's also interesting that carnivores drink by using their long tongues to lap up water. Herbivores, like horses, put their lips into the water and suck it up, and that's what you'd do if you didn't have a cup. Also, carnivores don't sweat through their skin to cool off, they pant. Herbivores sweat through their skin, just like you and me. But maybe the most interesting thing to consider is carnivores have a natural instinct to chase an animal, kill it, and eat it raw. If a dog sees a squirrel or a dead animal in the street, that's appetizing to him, but that's not appetizing to us. We have to clean, season, and cook meat before we'd want to eat it, and before it's even safe for us to eat. But the scent and spray of a ripe orange or a slice of sweet watermelon, now that makes us salivate. Our natural instinct as kids isn't to look at an animal and want to kill him and eat him. That's something we get taught as we grow up. And even as adults, if you're on a walk, just seeing a cow or lamb on the path isn't something that makes you want to walk over and eat one. But what about seeing ripe berries on a bush or a ripe apple on a tree? Now that's something you'd want to walk over and eat, am I right? It's interesting, isn't it? We're built a lot more like herbivores than carnivores. Okay, but the question I'm sure you have right now is, if I don't eat meat, where will I get my protein? Well, let's take a look. I always get asked this question. Think about it. The most powerful land mammals are elephants, rhinos, bulls. They're big and muscular, and all they eat is plants. Have you ever thought about that? The average male gorilla weighs 500 pounds, is 9 times stronger than the average man, but eats a diet of just 97% plants and 3% insects. Sure, we need protein, but anything that grows has protein, including all vegetables and fruits. Beans, nuts, and some grains have lots of it, and the truth is, many of us eat way too much protein. So remember those bulls and gorillas? You don't need to eat meat to get your protein. Lots of foods have it, and you can easily get the nutrients you need to be healthy without eating animal products. But here's the thing. My experience is that eating less animal products can actually help you be even stronger and be a better athlete. Don't believe me? Well, let's head to the track. Doctors agree that cutting down on meat and dairy reduces your risk of all kinds of diseases, including heart attack, stroke, and many cancers. These are the #1 killers of people in the US. But did you know that eating less animal products can actually be better for your toughness and athleticism? To function well athletically, you need your blood to carry oxygen to all your muscles as you exercise. Anything that blocks the flow of your blood slows the oxygen getting to your muscles. Cholesterol in your bloodstream causes plaque to build up in your arteries, and that limits the flow of blood. This lowers your strength and slows your athletic recovery. So here's the deal. There's no cholesterol in plant-based foods, only in animal products like meat, milk, and eggs. Get rid of those foods and you get better blood flow, which means more oxygen to your muscles faster. You don't get as tired and you recover quicker.
Also, because plant foods are easier to digest than meat or animal products, you don't get that tired feeling after you eat, and you have more energy, which means you can work out sooner and for longer.
That's right. Faster recovery with longer and more frequent workouts means better athletic performance. Remember, eating meat or mass amounts of protein doesn't build muscle. Exercise builds muscles. More energy means more exercise. I can exercise harder and longer than most people I compete against, and it all starts with my diet. Next up, let's talk about making a healthier planet. Eating less animal products is much better for the environment. To produce a pound of beef protein, it takes at least 6 times more energy and 70 times more land than it takes to produce a pound of vegetable protein. We spend all these resources to grow grains that we could have just eaten, but instead we feed them to farm animals, which ends up producing much less food for people. In fact, nearly half of the world's grain is fed to livestock, and we do this even as people are starving. Besides the waste of resources, factory farming of animals leads to some scary things in our food chain. Cows eat huge quantities of grass and corn, and the pesticide residue from those plants concentrates in the animal's body, and then you eat it. To make matters even worse, most farm animals, including chickens who lay eggs or the cows used for milk, are kept in conditions so crowded and stressful that they get sick, and so they're regularly given antibiotics. In fact, 80% of all antibiotics sold in the US are for livestock. Those drugs can be passed on to you when you drink milk or eat meat. That's bad for you and even worse for a developing child. And that's not all. Animal agriculture, and cows in particular, are a major cause of greenhouse gas. I'm not kidding. Methane from farm animals is 25 times worse than CO2 from cars when it comes to global warming. Mass farming of food animals is also the leading cause of rainforest destruction and the resulting extinction of many species. And then there's water pollution. Waste from chicken and hog farms is a major cause of pollution in our rivers and lakes. And as for the ocean, many of the ocean's natural fisheries have become depleted from overfishing. I've always tried to be a good person, but I never knew I was having such a big impact on the environment by what I chose to eat every day. Eating less animal products is not just a health issue, it's definitely an environmental issue. So all this leads us to the big question. We can eat meat, but should we? Let's take the next few minutes to think this one through. Setting aside all the health and environmental benefits of eating less animal products, for some people, the real thing they struggle with is a moral question. Now, let's think honestly about this. In fact, let's go on a thought journey. If you're walking down the street and there's a cute puppy on the sidewalk, of course you'd be sure to not step on the puppy, right? You can easily step around him and you wouldn't want to harm some little animal for no reason. So we can all agree that all other things being equal, if there are 2 paths and one hurts some innocent animal and the other doesn't, it's better to take the path that doesn't hurt the animal, right? Well, for some people, that's it right there. If they can survive without eating animals or animal products, and even be healthier, they don't see any justification for killing and eating animals. All things being equal, it's better to not cause harm than to cause harm, right? But maybe all things aren't equal. If you eat that hot dog, you get enjoyment, and if you don't eat the hot dog, you don't get enjoyment. So maybe you're losing something by taking the no hot dog path. But let's think about that. Take a lamb, for example. If I told you there's some guy who's about to hit a poor lamb's head against a wall for no reason, would you agree that's disgusting and that guy should be stopped and even arrested for animal cruelty? But what if we talk to him and he says, "Oh, I'm not doing it for no reason. I'm doing it because I get enjoyment out of it. That's the reason." Wouldn't we still think a guy who gets enjoyment out of hurting a lamb is just sick? But what if he says, "No, you don't understand. I'm not getting enjoyment from killing the lamb. I'm getting enjoyment from seeing the beautiful red blood drip down the wall. I'm sorry the lamb has to die, but I really like seeing that color of red." We'd still think the guy's nuts, right? That lamb has a right to live that's more important than some guy's right to see a pretty color of red. But here's where it gets personal for all of us. What if he says, "Oh, the enjoyment I get by killing the lamb isn't from seeing a pretty color of red with my eyes. It's from a taste I get with my mouth. My enjoyment is the taste of the meat." Now, let's be honest. We tell ourselves all kinds of things about why we eat meat, but the truth is, people in our society eat meat because it tastes good. We enjoy it. If meat suddenly tasted terrible to you, you'd stop eating it, wouldn't you? Or at least you'd eat a lot less of it. So how are we different from that guy? If we really can avoid killing that little lamb or cow or chicken and still be healthy, shouldn't we? Why is the enjoyment of seeing the blood not okay, but the enjoyment of the taste of meat is okay? It's all enjoyment. Is killing an innocent animal for almost every one of our meals really something we want to do day after day after day? Think about it. I did. Now here's something else to think about. What if the tables were turned? The truth is, we eat animals and animal products because we get enjoyment from the taste. And the reason we can do that is because we're more powerful. But does might make right? If you think it's okay to eat animals just because we're stronger or smarter than them, depending upon what you even mean by stronger or smarter, think about this. What if one day some spaceship lands and we're contacted by some alien race, and it turns out they want to farm us for food? Hey, maybe we taste like chicken. So what would we say to them to convince them not to eat us? We'd probably say that human beings' lives are important and they shouldn't kill innocent people just because they think we taste good. But what if they're way smarter and more advanced than us? And what if their technology makes them way stronger than us? What if they are as far beyond us as we think we are beyond cows? Wouldn't they just look at us and be confused because the thing we're begging them not to do is exactly what we do every day to every other species on the planet, just because we're smarter and our technology makes us stronger? And if you think aliens are just a fantasy, what about artificial intelligence that we create? Many of our top thinkers are sounding the alarm that we may soon make machines whose artificial intelligence makes them way smarter and way stronger than we are, and they may decide to kill us. Now, that may sound crazy, but if we, as a species, feel perfectly justified in killing any other creature on the planet just because we're stronger, should we even be surprised if our own creations do to us exactly what we do to every other living being? It's something worth considering. So, maybe you want to give a shot at eating less animal products and see how you feel. But that's a big change of habit. Does it have to be all or nothing? To be human means to think, to reason, and most importantly, to morally reason. To be able to tell the difference between right and wrong and not just do something because it's what we've always done or it makes us feel good but hurts someone else. So if what makes us feel special as humans is our ability to morally reason, then let's morally reason. We're not lions who have to kill other animals to eat for every meal. We're smart, and we can eat meals that don't have animal products whenever we want. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Hey, when there's a conference on ending pollution, most people get there on airplanes and in cars. But airplanes and cars pollute. No one's perfect, but that shouldn't stop us from doing what we reasonably can, right? You're not a bad person if, like me, you were raised eating meat and drinking milk, but you could be a healthier person and living in a healthier world if you could just have a bit less. So why not give it a shot? I did, and it was the best choice I ever made.